Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?
Speeding?
No, it's because your intro sucks. Please step out onto the curbside.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Curbside Podcast, the podcast where we talk about cars and everything to do with cars. My name's Jeff. I drive a 2004 Honda S2000, and I am your Southern Californian Taiwanese American.
I'm Andrew. No Parth this week. He is still out shopping for his G80 M3, looking at all the options. I'm Andrew. Drive a 2014 Evo 10 MR and a 2015 Subaru BRZ. Living in the Bay Area.
He's currently thinking to himself, can I get these grills even bigger? Speaking of last week, we put out the question of what cars out there do you guys think will become future classics? We put our ideas out, and then on the show we put out, hey, if you guys can think of anything, tell us what you think. And we got a couple answers. We got one from Andrew Lynn. Oh.
Whoops.
and you said Lexus Lc 500.
Yes.
You know what? Based on just looks alone,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be it's a rare, right? Because I don't think a lot of people. I haven't seen a lot of them on the street.
Because they're extremely overpriced.
Yeah, they're like $100,000.
Maybe. I wouldn't say it's overpriced. I think it's just an expensive car.
It's $100,000 Lexus, which is very hard to convince
swallow.
people. Yeah. But just based on looks alone, I think you're right about that car. I did not even think about that.
Because nobody fucking cares about Lexus. But my family growing up was a Lexus family, so I remember Lexus.
You know, that's true. I feel like whatever cars your parents grow up with or your parents buy, you end up kind of being a fan of. Like, I'm a fan of Hondas and Acuras because my family has exclusively bought Hondas and Acuras.
Yeah.
Your family's bought Lexus.
Only Lexus. Yeah, I think we've had an LS400, an RX300, and an RX400H.
So, yeah, you deep in that Lexus game.
Yeah.
Also, new TRX RAM, depending on production numbers. Yeah, I think we said that too. And then maybe there's a couple of people who said this. The new.
How many? Hold on though. Backtracking real quick. How many classic trucks are there? I can think of like the F-150, and like the Lightning is like an anomaly too, and that's about it.
That may be because we're not well versed in trucks.
I guess.
Right? Because like the only trucks we know are A, the Raptor, and B, the Raptor. But it depends on production numbers, like they said. And another one, maybe you'll agree with. We got two answers that said this, which I was surprised by. The new Lexus IS 500. You'll talk about this in the news section. It's got a V8. And then also on Instagram, user Gains by DRJ, I think he was the one that recommended some cars he should look into. He says, I think you guys are right about the Dodge muscle cars, but I think you're wrong about the RS6 Avant, rare and in demand. You know,
Parth was wrong.
Parth was wrong. Yeah.
We're talking all this shit about Parth today. He's not here.
No, Andrew and I were like, we think so, because yeah, it's expensive. No one's gonna buy it, so it's gonna be rare. Either it'll become a future classic, or like car people won't exist in the future. It's either one of those paths. I feel like as long as there's car people, the RS6 Avant will be very desirable. Someone said C8s. I don't C8s. You know, C8s. I feel like it depends on production numbers, and I don't think. Because Corvettes
I don't think they're holding back production.
Yeah. The whole point of it being priced at $5,995 is to be like, we're going to sell a lot of these.
Yeah.
Someone on YouTube, Moga the Mecha Sheep, says, I think that the same thing that happened with the 240SX is going to happen to the BRZ FRS GT86, making it a desirable car in the future. Now, what does he mean by that? Does that mean that people are going to trash a lot of them, or people are going to use it as a drift platform? Or
when is the last time you saw a clean 240 on the road?
Well, I'm gonna let's think about this. Just about never.
I saw a 240 2 days ago, and it was destroyed. But the prices on those are like, especially right now, I think they're pretty high for what it is. It's like 7, 8, 9 grand for like a pretty trashed up, like 240 running, but like pretty trashed up. So I think the 86 platform is going to be like that. You're not going to see like low mileage ones going for a shit ton of money, but I think they're going to hold not a high value, but they'll hold a value for a while just because people want to use them to build things.
Yeah. Those are pretty some good ones. Oh, my favorite. Forgot to mention this. Saucy_Tito says Fiat 500L for
That's because he owns one of those shit boxes. I see you, Brian. Thanks for commenting, though. I can't believe you spent real money on that. I wouldn't spend Monopoly money on that thing. But hey, to each their own. I love you, Brian.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, those are some good suggestions. Keep them coming if you guys have any more ideas that pop up in your head. This week I wanted to talk about Doug DeMuro released a video. We've talked about this before, but it's about upbadging your car. I know we talked about this before, but the other day I had because I saw a BMW, the Bengal Butt 6 on the road with, of course, like it was pretty beat up, giant wheels, like excessively giant wheels, and it had the badge M5 on it. Oh. Now I thought in my head, we should talk about this. Who the heck are they fooling? And Doug DeMuro came out with the video, and the first point was, who the heck are they fooling? Because here's the point that he brought up. The only people who are going to care enough to realize that there's an M badge on your car are car people. Right? Everyone else, non-car people, not going to care. A regular 6 Series might as well be the same as an M6. Right, so
be a 618 or something.
Yeah, it could have any assortment of numbers after the 6, and non-car people will not care. The only people who are going to realize are car people, and the car people are going to see that and be like, "What the heck are you doing?
Your M5 is missing 2 doors."
Right? Like, so that came up in my head. Like, who are these people trying to target?
I think the target audience might be, I don't know, like just dumb influencer people that like they know they know M whatever is like a cool thing, but they don't really know what any of it is, so they're like, ooh. But even then, no. If it's a piece of shit already, like those kind of people aren't gonna look twice at it. So.
And I always love the fact that people decide to put them on, never straight or in a place that makes sense. It's always like cricket. It's always like behind it's 650 ILM or something like that.
Yeah.
So that brings another point of the video, right? Doug also was talking about when is it okay to change the badge on your car, and he said the two things are, one, I forgot the first one, but the second one is if you down badge your car. Like you have an M3, you badge it as a 328, or like
to be funny, or
it's just to be funny. But another one I thought of is, what if you're trying to make a car that doesn't exist? Okay, let's just say, for instance, you bought a Rally Art wagon, but you would love a Mitsubishi Evo wagon. Right? And you do all the work, you do all the body work, you get the right engine in, the right transmission and whatnot. Basically, you do
full
a conversion.
Evo swap.
Yeah, full Evo conversion. Would it be okay then to badge that as an Evo?
Hell yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about that. Like that specific example, America never got the Evo wagons, right? Evo 9 had a wagon variation. But we did get the Lancer Rally Art and Lancer wagons in that generation, body style, whatever. a lot of people actually convert those to look like 8 or 9 wagons.
Yeah, like I've seen
So
people.
I would totally slap an Evo badge on there. Hell yeah.
That's okay, right? Because I know
Yes.
people have converted like NSXs to NSX Type Rs because we don't get them in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, like, what if, let's say, this current Civic Type R is a hatchback, and what if someone wanted a Civic Type R
Coupe.
sedan, right? You get the big wing, you could get the crate engine for the Civic Type R. Shove that in, do the body work. Would it qualify to be a Civic Type R?
I wouldn't be mad if I saw something like that. Because people did that with like the old Type Rs too. They would get like regular EG hatches or whatever.
Yeah.
Convert those like on Gears and Gasoline.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think we ever got the EG Type R.
We didn't get that Type R.
I want to ask you this though: what would you like to make using that concept? What project would you like to work on? Make a car that doesn't exist or isn't available here.
We already mentioned the Rally Art, like the last Rally Art wagon that Mitsubishi did. It had the all-wheel drive, it had the SST. I'd probably put a manual in it, motor swap, all that, and then I'd probably do that. So the Rally Art wagon to Evo 10. Also, I think it would be really cool to like kind of create a next generation like 22B out of the BRZ.
Not like a STI.
Subaru doesn't do other coupes.
It's gotta just mold the doors back.
No,
Cut the chassis in half.
current STI is too tall, I think, for that to look good.
A BRZ STI.
Yeah, all-wheel drive,
Yeah,
big wang, stock wide body, turbo.
that'll be a good one. I like
Yeah.
that. I would do like a cross-track STI. Like
Yes.
the turbo, get the CVT out of there, shove the proper gearbox in there. I think that would make a fun project. Also,
Yeah,
the new Type S, the Acura TLX Type S.
yeah.
There was like a Type R version of that.
Mm.
Like even more power, so it'd be like a M3 competitor type deal. I feel
All-wheel
like
drive BRZ would be nuts.
yeah, all-wheel drive turbo BRZ.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
Suddenly, my man's real into Subarus and off-roading for some reason. We'll talk about that later.
Hey man, I've always been into off-roading. All right, shall we go to our brack?
Yeah.
All right, a break time. As always, you could check us out at the curbsidepodcast.com where you can find links to all of our stuff, places to listen, watch our videos, and all that. There's also a link to our Anchor page where you'll find links to all the podcast platforms we're on. You could also support our show at anchor.fm/the Curbside Podcast/support. And go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're at 426 subs, I think. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the new listeners that may be out there. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. You can also follow us on social media. We've surpassed 3,000 followers on TikTok. We're at 3,006. So, FR Motor Show, where you at? You can follow us on Instagram at the Curbside Podcast, Facebook at facebook.com/the Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, and TikTok at the Curbside Podcast.
FR Motor Show is like destroying us on Instagram, though. Freaking.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
And if you want to contact us, you can contact us at the Curbside Podcast at gmail.com as well. And with that, let's get back to the show.
Right, I have some news that I think is not boring for once. We just talked about this, but I kind of like Lexus a lot. The new IS 500, Lexus unveiled this, like a week, 2 weeks ago? The new V8 in their new chassis for the IS.
That's crazy. Like Lexus, I can't believe Lexus, out of all companies, has decided to still put a V8 in their compact sedan.
Yeah.
Like BMW doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah. Everyone's going V6, twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an IS almost F, but it's not quite an ISF.
What does that mean?
I think
Is it in
I don't know the details, but it's like I think they just slapped a V8 in there. It's not like track. It's not a track chassis like the previous ISF kind of was.
No, it's not like it's just IS with more power.
Yeah, I think so. But what do you think about this design? I know at first when we looked at it, none of us really liked it, but it's growing on me, especially in this 500 variant.
It's okay. I don't like Lexus's current design language, the whole spindle grill thing. It just doesn't do it for me. It's just it's like it's too much. Like for me it feels like Lexus is, I don't know, trying a bit too hard with it, especially on the SUVs. Like the LX and the GX.
Yeah.
Like, oh. But
yeah, I can agree they don't need to be doing all that, but I think it works on here, it works on the LS. Yeah.
I think it's
okay. The RC, I think it works great, and the LC I think has that front end as well. So this I think will probably be the last. You know, all of Lexus V8s stem from their original V8 from like the 90s LS.
Really?
They're all like redesigned, new reiterations of that same V8, and this is probably the last iteration of that V8.
You know what annoys me about Lexus? They made the LFA, that engine and that sound and whatnot. But I feel like in terms of drivetrain, at least, they made that and it just stopped there.
Yeah, none of it trickled down minus like the dash.
Yeah, that's all I can. We got the moving gauge cluster. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you just trickle it down to the rest of your cars.
Yeah.
All we got was the dashboard and F. Like, that's all. Like all that R&D and this is like, nah.
Take our loss,
we're done.
move on.
It's like, what the heck? But go on.
So the the IS 500 has a longer nose, I guess, to fit the V8, right? Because the other models are V6s, I think. The V8 puts out 472 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque, which is kind of a lot in a Lexus.
That's a lot in a compact sedan.
Yeah. So I don't think this is going to be no slouch.
If you've ever driven like a G37, okay, those come with like 300 and some odd horsepower. Those already feel fast. Like I know these days 472 doesn't sound like a lot because, well, like you have like the Hellcats and whatnot. But 472 and something this small is a lot of horsepower.
Yeah. This sedan is 50 pounds lighter than the RCF, which just shows you how fucking heavy that RCF is. Hopefully there's like a true ISF that comes out later.
Hopefully they do something with like, LFA technology.
Yeah.
In other news, we got a new variant of the Taycan. And
No one's going to buy it.
because people stupid, because for some reason people don't like wagons, and that's what this is. Well, basically, this is what Porsche is calling their Cross Turismo. And it's basically sort of a slightly higher wagon version.
Dude,
of
that
the
looks
Taycan.
so awesome.
It looks so good. Okay, who cares about the specs? Who cares about everything? Right?
Yeah.
First of all, it's got like a bit of, it looks like body cladding, but it's actually just kind of like different colored body panels at the kind of like the bottom end of it. It's a wagon. Porsche themselves have said, hey, we made this so you could go on, grass and dirt and gravel.
Sand.
Sad. Yeah, you're not going to go rock crawling, obviously, but you're going to be able to go on gravel and whatnot, no problem, right?
Yeah.
And it's
oh my god.
it looks super good, right?
It's so good.
it's I want one very badly. In
Hopefully
terms
this
of,
car turns people onto wagons, because that looks really awesome. It's like a shooting brake kind of
shooting brake, but with like more off-road utility stuff, because that's the only way you could sell wagons in America these days, is if you have
SUV capabilities.
the illusion of being a off-roader. Anyways, it's going to come in all the various forms of the Taycan. My favorite is the Taycan Turbo S Cross Turismo, okay? Because what you're basically getting is a soft roader capable wagon that has 750 horsepower. Yes, it starts at $187,600. Okay, but it's electric. 0 to 60 goes 2.7 seconds. It's only a bit slower than the normal Taycan. And it has 750 horsepower. You know, the only thing... It also has, like, improved ground clearance, and I think the suspension is adjustable. Because I love the idea of a raised wagon. I love this. I love the Volvo V60 and V90 cross countries. Those... It's just like... a wagon that's a bit more capable.
Lower center of gravity and stuff.
Yeah. It's like you get the soft roading ability. I mean, obviously you're not going rock crawling, as I said, but then you also get like the driving dynamics of a car.
You're right.
So I'm very excited about this. I hope people buy it because it looked good. Really good.
You know what? I think people will, just because of how good it looks. Dude, in the Bay Area at least, I see a Taycan almost every day.
Really?
Yeah. Might just be because where I'm working, but I see them almost every day.
I haven't seen any at all on the streets like that.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've seen, like, it might be the same one, but at least 4 or 5 different ones.
In my opinion, this looks so much better. Like, I like the way the Taycan looks, but this looks like 1,000
Yeah, it's really good. Speaking of your love for raised wagons... I think you have an announcement to make.
Yes, I have gotten myself a raised wagon. I picked up a 2021 Subaru Outback as a daily.
XT, please.
Subaru Outback XT, yes.
Yes, the good one.
The turbo one. Yeah, it's been good. It's nice. You know, I love buying old cars, but I just realized that having a new car, I was like, oh man, it's so comfortable.
Yeah. And everything works.
And I have Bluetooth. I have Bluetooth. I could play my music on my, because on the S2K I've been using, you know, those like AM FM radio dongles.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
where if you turn it up a bit too loud, it's just all.
Yeah. How many miles have you put on it now?
I think it's about 500-600 miles now.
Okay, so you're still breaking in.
Yeah, basically.
You haven't womped on it yet.
No, not yet.
Just do it. I couldn't wait. I remember when I first got my BRZ around like 700 miles. Like, fuck it, I'm flooring it real quick.
I think the thing that's letting me down a bit about the car though is really that CVT. For those of you listening at home that don't know what a CVT is, if your friend is like, "Hey, listen to this podcast," but you don't like, they're saying stupid acronyms that I don't understand. In a car, if you think about it, you have a gearbox. It's got gears in it. A CVT doesn't. It's a continuously variable transmission. What it has is 2 wheels and basically like a rubber band in the middle. But it's supposed to be like, you know how in gearboxes you have like first gear, and then it's got steps. In this, the idea is to basically have an infinite amount of gears for what you need them for. The funny thing is, when the CVTs first came out,
trash.
People hated them because they didn't drive like automatics. So now to get CVTs to, you know, feel more normal, they're basically replicating what an automatic does. So the stepped gears and whatnot. Yeah. And at that point, I'm like, what the heck? What's the point then?
they more efficient?
Yeah, but man, I hate CVTs, dude. I know people are like, yeah, the CVT's really good. You
Isn't
can't
that
even
better? It's not that bad. Because I know like older Subaru CVTs were garbanzo beans, like really, really bad.
It's not that bad, but it's still, you could tell. You know why I know this? Because I did not know that the Outback had a CVT.
No.
I thought, it had an automatic.
Yeah, 6-speed automatic.
Yeah, and then I was driving it, and I'm like, this is wrong. Because if you've driven a CVT before, especially when you're like flooring it, right? Like you're like, hey, I want to pass.
Yeah.
You press down on the gas, it gets a bit louder. Like it goes like, I mean, you're like,
Yeah.
what the heck? And it doesn't feel like it drops down in gear, and it just kind of feels like it made a little bit more noise and gave up. And you're like, why isn't it going faster? It might be like gradually accelerating, but you don't feel it.
You have to like deliberately, like, you got to floor it for it to like drop gears. And
I'm like, hurry up and get to the power. Where's the power?
can you throw it into like a manual mode or like a low gear mode to keep it?
Yeah.
Is there an option for that? There's paddles, right?
Yeah, there's paddles. Basically, they're trying to simulate the how automatic does, but
is it better like that?
It's not as responsive as you would want it. So it's
but at least you have more control.
Yeah, but in terms of like just cruising along, it's nice. It's comfortable. It's very comfortable.
Cool. Now you get to say 2 car names when you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the news for this week. A bit of personal news, and that's going to be the show for this week. Thank you guys for listening. As always, please go and rate the show if you can. Share it with your friends. And also check us out on YouTube, and check us out at thecurbsidepodcast.com. Support our show.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram at The Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, Facebook at facebook.com/The Curbside Podcast, and TikTok at The Curbside Podcast. Get us to 4,000. Let's get it.
Let's do it. And as always, thank you to Kid Dope for the intro and outro of our show, Fast Cars and Wild Hearts. And as always, my name's Jeff.
I'm Andrew.
Remember, drive safe, and life is too short to drive boring cars.
Bye.